here. Okay, I'll share a screen a little bit. Well, welcome everybody. I think this is like our 10th or something Widget Wednesday, and I'm so glad that you're here. So glad that you're finding value in this stuff. So I always do full disclosure. A lot of times I show you free tools that I found or have been using for years that will help you save time, make money, make your life easier. I'm going to be talking about something that I've been aware of for a while, and actually it came to my attention. So let me just kind of share you a little bit of the history with this. About 3-4 years ago, I got contacted by a local organization, and they were visually impaired. Some of them were near blind, some just had some visual disabilities. And they asked me to build them a website that was visually ADA compliant. And it's hard to do that. I mean, I can't imagine all the things that you have to consider when building a website: text, pictures, contrast, all that. And so I contacted a couple of companies. None of them were local. And they were quoting me fees of over $500 a month to, one, build the website and maintain it. And I lost track with that organization. They didn't decide to move forward, but I actually put them in contact with the company because I said, I can't help you because I don't have the skill sets, the tools to do that for you, but contact this company. And I'm not sure if it went anywhere. So that was a few years ago. And over the last, let's say 3 to 6 months, I've gotten emails from clients that I built websites for and said, have you seen this article? And it'd be some article from some blog post or a video about a company getting sued because their website was not ADA compliant. And I go, yeah, I did hear about that. And it's always been a concern. And I'll show you some statistics and stuff in a bit. But as I tell you, sometimes it's just like the answer kind of comes up out of thin air. So I know some of you, like Pat and Jamie, I've built websites for you in Duda, and actually one as well, Kay. It's all on a platform called Duda. And a few months ago, Duda partnered with a company called AudioEye, which actually implemented ADA compliance. And I've been researching that. And there was some pros and cons, and I'll kind of show you the spreadsheet that I did. But just, geez, not within a week, like maybe it was Friday or something, I got an email from another company, and a lot of you are familiar with Umbrella. Umbrella is the company that we've gotten Promo Republic through. So it's a tech agency, and I license with them for tools that I can, pass on to my clients. And they did a video on ADA compliance. And so it was like the timing was perfect because now I can compare these two tools and explain to businesses why they're why it's important. So the thing is, one, if you decide, like with Duda tools, I'll show you what your options are there. I'll show you what your options are with this new Umbrella tool. Again, full disclosure, I don't get paid by Duda if you buy it through Duda. I do get a fee from Umbrella if you decide to purchase through that. So I just wanted to let you know, I hope you don't consider this a sales presentation because I really want you to be aware of the issue. And this tool is not going to be $500 a month. So this tool is very affordable, and I'm going to show you a way to get it free. Okay, so let's kind of just go into a little bit of share screen here. And if you have any questions along the way, ask me. Let's see here. Okay, whoops, wrong page. There we go. All right, so I'm going to send, at the presentation, I'm going to send you a link to this web page. And this is kind of like a landing page. We talked about landing pages 2 weeks ago. So this is a landing page for this ADA issue. And the first thing you're going to see is this little short video, and I'm going to try to play it. Again, I've been having timing issues playing videos over Zoom, but let's see how far it will go without stopping. It's only 50 seconds.
The Supreme Court ruled that the American Disability Act, ADA, now also extends to websites. This ruling came after a huge rise in lawsuits of disabled against businesses with websites that were not accessible to them. Which businesses need to make their website compliant? Well, everyone. Whether you're a small business, a big business, e-commerce, or service provider, Whether you have a street-facing location, an office, or working from home, your site is public-facing and, as such, needs to be compliant. Having your website ADA compliant is the law. Not meeting it can cost you $75,000 to $150,000 in fines, not including getting privately sued. Book a free consultation.
Okay, so that said, most of us don't have a big enough business. I think they were showing this video. It was a news clip out of Florida, where this small shoe company in a mall got sued by somebody 2 states away because she claimed she couldn't buy shoes on their website because she was visually disabled, and so sued them. And their lawyer said, you might as well just pay the suit because it would cost too much to fight it, and your website is not compliant. And you've heard of attorneys and other people who will go to a brick and mortar, and they may not even want to buy from them. They'll just say, well, you don't have a ramp, or your door is not wide enough, and they'll file suit. And there's been local businesses that have closed because of that. So you know that there's people out there that will do that. And again, your business may not be to the point where who is going to bother with my business. But the thing is, it's possible. And I know that you probably know companies and businesses that are at suit, because the way you can tell is if you go to a website, when's the last time you saw something like this? You see this in the left-hand side where it's a little pop-up that says explore your accessibility options. I've never seen that. And I go to a lot of websites. So if you've never seen that, the websites that you do business with, where you pay your gas bill, I can't even think of any business, big or small, that has that. And again, they are liable to being sued. Somebody said that somebody is going through all of the all of the bike shops in the area and suing them, just getting a list and just sending letters and saying, I'm going to sue you. So again, it's just a liability issue. So again, it's a law, and I'm not sure. It's always been there, but I think because there's been a spike recently on these, and which is why these clients have been sending emails, because since those lawyers can't go to brick and mortars anymore because a lot of them are closed, or a lot of them are doing their stuff outside, I think they're kind of focusing on websites, because again, that's low-hanging fruit. If you've never seen an accessibility option on a website, those businesses are liable. And again, I think that they're probably more likely to go after the big fish, but every business, you don't want to worry about it just for the time and all that. So let me see. I'll send you a link to this so you can read this. There's actually another video there, but I'm going to actually demo the site just so you can. It's very cool. Jamie, did you have a question or just?
Oh no, I'm just.
Okay. Okay, so let me go to. I think I just closed that window. Hang on. There we go. All right, so this is the umbrella side. They have their full function up there. So you see this pop up on the left-hand side. I was playing with this. This is really cool. Likely, most of you don't need this, but Jamie, I don't know, with the cataract surgery, there might have been a point where a tool like this on a website would have been very helpful. So you're not having to put your readers on or something. And there's statistics that show, a surprising number of people have color blindness, or, eyesight issues, or even ADD, attention deficit disability, where their attention might get distracted by, moving flash or something. So there's all these issues that I, as a website developer, never really thought about. But this widget can be added to a website and add all those things. So for example, I thought the fun one was the text reader. So if you can't read very well, you can turn on this text reader.
Get the tools, training, and support to build and run a digital marketing agency in partnership with known tech brands.
So that widget is reading that text I just think that is just really cool. And then again, there's all these different options. There's a blinking blocker. Again, if somebody has attention deficit, that will turn off blinking things. There's voice commands, so you can use voice commands to navigate the website. There's a smart navigation, which turns the navigation into numbers. So people can just scroll through the thing using the keyboard with just numbers instead of having to use their mouse. Again, some people might, like if they have Parkinson's, where your hand shakes, it might be difficult for them to use a mouse. So they have these things where you can actually use the keyboard to navigate through the website instead of your mouse. There's ones where it can turn the cursor larger or white, if that's better for them visually. Word spacing. Again, and I've been in technology for 50 years. I have no clue how they get this to work on a website where you just plug in this little tool. It's beyond me. You can change the word spacing so there's more space between the words. You'll see how it's just reacting to the controls on the left-hand side. There's readable fonts. If your font is cursive, it turns it to readable. Image descriptions are when you have text that describes your images. So you'll see all these tool sets that are available just by installing a little widget. It's just code that goes onto your website that turns on this widget. Now the thing, again, there is no guarantee that even with this widget that somebody won't sue you. Because sometimes they just will. However, if they see a tool like this on your website, they're likely not going to bother you because you've already done some effort to make your website accessible. Also, there is an accessibility statement that will pop up that they can read your commitment to being accessible. And then also there is a help widget down there, so if they need help or send feedback. So again, with the voice commands, with the text reader, this makes your website about 95% compliant. It's not going to make it 100% because that requires a lot more work. There's options that this company offers where you can, but I think for most businesses, 95% is going to safeguard them from action, right? So let me see.
So this is just a plugin?
Yeah, it's just some script. It's just code that you drop into the bottom of, I think it goes in the footer. I haven't gotten the code myself. I literally set up this landing page last night. And the reason I wanted to do this today as a Widget Wednesday, I have 4 clients who said, I want to know more. And I said, I'm investigating. I wanted to look at the Duda option and compare it to this option. And I said, let me see, apples to apples, which is, I think, is a better tool. I'm getting feedback from somebody.
You got the volume thing reading for you.
Oh, was it reading?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what a problem?
Yep.
Okay, I got to turn them off. Let me turn it off. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so I wanted to do an apples to apples comparison. So I've been telling them for about a week because I told you, well, I'm still getting feedback.
Me too.
Let me.
Yeah, still something on. Wants to know if it wants to help you.
Yeah, so I'm going to mute everybody, and if you need a question, just raise your hand or unmute yourself. I'll just, let's see here. I think we got rid of it. Okay, so again, I had several people who are interested in this, and I said, let me compare them because these literally, this umbrella solution came up Friday, and I wanted to do the comparison. I wanted to ask questions, so I actually asked the developers some questions about it. But it's just code. And again, it's not going to be 100% and no guarantee that you won't get sued. But again, if people are out there looking for people to sue on the internet, they see this little pop-up with a statement saying, I am here to be compliant. Even if you go to court, I think the ruling will be that you're making efforts to be compliant, and it's going to be harder for them. So they're just not going to, want to deal with it. They're going to go with the websites that don't have this kind of compatibility. So And again, I'll send you the link and you can go to the umbrella site. I'll get it on my landing page. It was not enabled yet. So I'll get that on my landing page so you can get both of them at the one place. But just play with it. I was pretty amazed by what it does. And having myself not needing it, wouldn't really know all the things I should be or could do, but it was really, really interesting. And on the landing page, it talks about the fact that it will read text to you, and then keyboard navigation and blocking, blinking, and monochrome contrast for people with that kind of maybe color blindness. They can change the color on the background depending on, you know, what your website looks like and what they are easily able to read and see. But the other benefit from a business standpoint, and think about this, one, I think it's a good PR thing. We're not doing it for PR, but if you have a widget like that, I think even people without disabilities go, oh, look, they're doing everything they can to serve maybe the underserved or kind of ignored population who have those kind of disabilities, and you have a statement that says that. But also, from a business standpoint, it says the stats that they provide is 71% of web users with a disability will leave a website. And when you look at the numbers, there's pretty high numbers of people who 19.9 million people have difficulty lifting or grasping and using a keyboard or a mouse, 8 million with a visual disability, etc. So one, you might get a little bit more business from those people, maybe with cataract surgery, who went to your website and said, I can't read this, and they leave. But if you provide them an easy way to navigate your website to get the information they want, you possibly convert. So there's two really added benefits. One, you know, reduce the possibility that you might get sued. Two, be a good PR thing. And three, maybe capture some potential market that you can't right now because your website is not compliant or disability accessible. So before I show you kind of a comparison, does anybody have any questions or comments on what I just showed?
And I can't hear you. This is Lorianne. What's the name of this one?
It's actually for the Umbrella account. So Umbrella, as some of you know, I've been a agent with Umbrella for quite a few years. And this company has enabled me as a website developer to really get access to tools, because I didn't even know this ADA thing existed, but they have webinars. So I get emails from them. Hey, we're going to talk about social media, and that's where Promo Republic came from. Or we're going to talk about getting visibility on search engine. That's where the Yext tool came from. This one is relatively new. They just had the webinar on this Friday. So I don't know the name of the company that provides this, but I get it through the Umbrella agency. So I pay a license to Umbrella to be able to sell this to my clients. So that's why I wanted you to know that this is full disclosure, kind of an infomercial, but also something I think that it's valuable for all of us to be aware of. And two, because now I can offer this at a price point that I know I could afford. I couldn't afford $500 a month, but also I'm going to show you how you can get this for free. Any other questions?
I got a question. You mentioned this other Duda and Umbrella that you're comparing the two. Is there a big price difference?
Actually not. Let me show you my spreadsheet next. So let's look at my spreadsheet, and another question may come up. So what I did over the weekend is, after I had this Umbrella presentation, and I had already played with the Yext tool, the Duda tool, and I did a side-by-side comparison. So I started creating this spreadsheet so that I could send it to my clients. So first thing I did, and I can show you what the Duda tool looks like. Let's do that. Let's just do that first, just so you kind of know. Let's see. I'm starting a website for a realtor association in Hawaii, and we're supposed to go live within the next month. So this is still in progress, but I turned on this tool. So you'll see on the bottom right, this is what their tool looks like. So it's pretty similar. There's a little pop-up. When you click on it, you'll see these buttons. So you can change the highlighting. You can change the text spacing, change the font. So there's a lot of similarities. I think the first tool is visually more compelling. It's just more impressive to me. So that was one thing. So I went through all their tools and I said, okay, they've got a text sizing thing and they've got a spacing thing. And I just did a side by side because I wanted to see if there was any difference. So after playing with this one, I went and played with the one on Umbrella and I created this spreadsheet. Okay, here we go. So AudioEye is the tool that comes from Duda, and Umbrella is the one I just showed you first. So you'll see on the left side, I said visual. So big cursor, yeah, you can enlarge the cursor. Reading guide, I'm not sure what the reading guide is, so I didn't have any comparison over here, but I think it's similar to some of these other visuals. So you see contrast. So brightness, monochrome or color, background. So I just wrote in all the details that they had, highlighting the heading, keyboard focus, text size, and this is actually spacing as well, so it included this, font size. So it was pretty apples to this point. Where the Umbrella took off is in navigation. So they had that number navigation and the text magnifier. You can actually get a magnifying kind of glass that will hover over just a portion of the website to magnify it, as opposed to making the font bigger. So it's just another option. There was a screen reader adjustment and keyboard navigation and using numbers. So these were not included in AudioEye. Voice commands, that was the big difference. AudioEye had no voice command options. And to me, that's a big wow. On the other one, even if you don't need it, it's a big wow. So again, makes good PR for you that you even have that. It's got a dictionary, so if you didn't know the definition of a word, I guess instead of having to go to another website, they just have a dictionary there. There's the help desk is a form. So if they need help, basically they go to a place and they fill out a form that says, this isn't working. There's no phone call, but you can also have them call you as the business if you want, just to have that personal connection. There's that statement. So the commitment is that statement that says, our company is dedicated to helping those with disabilities, and that's pretty much the same. So there was quite a big difference. Okay, so let me explain the price difference. Duda is $8 a month. So that's like, okay, when I was looking at Duda for $8 a month, for just the, guess insurance and insurance that my website is now compliant and not going to be as liable to lawsuits, that's worth it because that's what coffee and a scone, Starbucks once a month. Okay, I can do that. They did offer a free trial. The thing and this is what I actually contacted AudioEye directly outside of Duda, because for some of you, and I think all of you, Pat and Jamie, I know, and I think Juan as well. I don't know what happened to Kay, but you have what is no longer available through Duda. You have a lifetime hosting, right? You paid a one-time fee, don't have to pay any more monthly fees forever until you abandon your website. The issue I had with Duda is in order to get access to this upgrade, this plugin, you needed to upgrade your hosting, which would have added another, what was it, $14 a month on top of it. And all that would have given you was access to be able to get the $8 a month. And I didn't like that. So I called up Audio and I said, can I get around that? Because I have clients, 95% of my clients are on Duda, and I don't want them to have to pay this upgrade fee for just getting access to your $8 per month. And they said no. They talked to their engineers, and I have maybe 50 clients like that. So it's not like they wanted to change the world for my 50 clients. But that's when the Umbrella thing came, and I said, well, I'm going to compare to see which I like better. Actually, I like the Umbrella tool better because it has all these other features. So the good news is the cost for what they call the basic program is $96 a year, which is $8 a month. The things I've highlighted in red aren't included in the basic program. But if you pay $25 or more, and and they base it on traffic. So like if you've got 1,000-page website, and I know none of you do, it goes up. But for most of you, you can do this for the $25 a month. Now, how you get this for free if you decide to do this from Umbrella. So what I decided, because I started telling Bill, I said, I'm going to send emails to, the water district, Fair Oaks Water, because I know they're not compliant. And I'm going to just look at all the people that I do business with now and say, hey, your website is not compliant or likely not compliant. Check this out, and send them to the landing page where they can watch that video, look at the demo, do all that. And at the bottom, there's a form. If they want to check it out and get an appointment with me, they fill out the form, but there's a referred by. So for example, if one of you said, hey, I'm going to go send this out to my people I do business with and give them this offer to check this out. If they sign up, I'm going to give you a minimum of a $25 finder's fee, which if you sign up for the $96 a year, if you just do one a quarter, you're going to get yours for free. Because again, if you go out and start looking at the websites you do business with, I will be surprised if you find one with that ADA compliant badge on it, whether it's coming from Audio Eye, Umbrella, or another company. Because it wasn't that long ago where the people I outreached to and did research on were charging $500, $600. But I think somebody figured out how to create a widget that does all that magic that I demoed for you and made it so it's just a widget that you can plug onto your website and make it affordable for all businesses to be able to safeguard themselves to some extent. Okay, so I am done with the demo. I'm going to send you this spreadsheet as well as a link to the page, and I'll see if I can get the tool working on my page by the time I do that. But does anybody have any questions or comments on what I just shared?
You'll send the demo then?
What's that?
You'll send the demo so we can look at the full thing?
Yeah, so I'm going to actually send you a link. So you can actually go to Umbrella. I'll send you the link for that. And there's no demo. Actually, I was watching the founder of Umbrella do a demo on all the tools, and I didn't want to do that because it was pretty in depth, and I didn't want to spend the time just saying, this does this and this does this. But I can send you that video because he'll walk you through it. There's no point for me to reinvent it because he explains the purpose of each tool and who it helps. Now, one thing it doesn't do, and this is something to consider as well, when you post a video on your website, especially with things like YouTube, I know you can. I'm assuming with Vimeo, I think you can add captions. So if you add captions to your videos, and you've probably seen them on YouTube, that helps those with audio issues. So if they can't hear video very well, you can have captions. So some of those, that's the 95%. This tool will make you 95% to compliant. To do those other things, we can give you hints on what to do, like add captions to your audio. Make sure you have alt tags on your images. So I'll send that, to you. But yeah, this is something that the Umbrella tool is being used. I think you saw on my landing page. Let me go back there real quick.
Susan, I have another question.
Sure.
So how does it work with the website and the landing page? In our case, we have the corporate website and the landing page. Is it double the fees?
What we would do for you, Lorianne, is your web page, your landing page can be taken care of with this. In fact, I'll have to see. You know what? Because you're on my landing page, and so I have a lot of pages. I think if I turn this tool on for the whole website, you'll be covered. Okay. I might charge you a little bit extra just to, split the cost with the other people or something, but you won't have to pay that full fee for your landing page. If you refer this information to corporate, because you'll see some of these companies are pretty big.
Yeah.
These are not, so this company can handle, and I wouldn't do that. If you want to refer your big company, and this is true for all of you, if you are like, I mentioned this yesterday because I know Pampered Chef, Mary Kay, all those other people in PWN who do, you know, to have a affiliateship with a company that's big, likely their website is not compliant either. So if Roxanne sends an email to Pampered Chef, or Jamie, you're here. If you send an email to Pampered Chef, say, hey, I'm a consultant with Pampered Chef, and the Pampered Chef website is probably not ADA compliant. And unless you see this button, chances are it's not. Would you check out this website and see if this would be of value? I will follow up with them with the umbrella team. And if we close a sale to that company, you're going to get a portion of that. And it's going to be more than $25 likely, because that's a big company. But that's why I'm saying, just by implementing this on your site and just referring like one a quarter, you can get your site for free at the 96. If you want to upgrade to the 25, we can look at those, you know, options. But I think for the cost of coffee and biscotti, to me, it's worth that insurance and safeguard. So same thing with you, Lorianne. If you send a referral to Comfort Care and say, hey, would you just check this out? Send it to their tech team. Because it's better to come from you than from me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And again, you don't have to just restrict it to who you're doing business with. I started looking at the list of people, I just was on the sushi place ordering sushi for dinner last night, and their website wasn't compliant. I'm just going to send them an email, say, thanks for sushi, but did you know? And for, again, $8 a month. It's not a big ask, even during these times, for businesses to make sure that they're not going to be liable to suit. Somebody else have a question? I'm still hearing a little background, but.
I was going to tell you, Susan, the National Industry for the Blind website, if you can get scrolling through there, there's a lot of information about that type of thing on NIB.
Yeah.
And if you want more that you might not be able to access that I can, I'll be happy to share it over to you.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to stats and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Julie, do you have a question?
So, I mean, I do business with a lot of printers and vendors, and I know they don't have this on there. And I know that a couple of them are particularly careful to make sure that they are always ADA compliant.
Yeah.
So I would just tell them, hey, check this thing out.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So what I'm going to do is on my landing page, like I said, I started working on it today. What I'm going to do is, you'll see how I say, ask us how I'm going to pay a finder's fee. This is not coming from Umbrella. This is coming from me, because I don't have time to contact every business in Sacramento even about this. But I figure if you're a client of somebody, they're going to listen to you more than me coming from the outside. And so I'm going to create a form for those of you who are part of PW, and I think all of you are mostly. I'm going to create a form that basically says your name, your contact information. It's going to have a little intro about the ADA, and you could put a little note there.
Perfect.
To say, hey, this is something I just found. Here's some information. And when they come and they put your name in there, as far as the person who referred me, I'll be able to keep track.
That'd be perfect, because because it's so new and you're just telling us about this,
right.
How to approach somebody and giving them the technical. That's perfect.
Yeah, so I'm just going to create a little form. There's probably going to be a link to the video, and then just say, and if you check this out, just be sure to let them know that I sent you, because I want to make sure you're safe. And see, I think that comes as a lot better than me knocking on doors and say, hey, I'm just going to contact the businesses that I already do business with. And when you think about it, I mean, the next week or so, you look at all the websites, and I really doubt that you'll find this, because this is new to me, and I've been in technology for 50 years as far as seeing this on websites. And I know the ADA Act is not brand new, but maybe 20, 30 years, but lawsuits are getting more prevalent because especially in California. Yeah.
Well, the lawyers are looking for any one little anomaly, and then they blanket that field, and then they go around and.
Exactly. That's why we just, on this Friday call, they were saying somebody is getting a list of the bike shop for some reason and going there and saying, hey, just sending out a form letter. Your
The
bike
G's
shop.
at the beginning of the alphabet. They're working their way through the alphabet.
That's true. They're at B's right now. So we got to get to the sushi shops before, because I don't want them to go out of business. Salvage the businesses that you care about. Okay, does anybody else have any thoughts or questions? And actually we have a little bit more time, so I'm going to show you some other things if you want, but I want to make sure you kind of get this, and I'll send you the link. I'll create that little referral form, and if you have any questions, let me know. Because it's fun to play with, but it just makes so much sense to me. And for those of you who I've worked with Duda, try that. I'll send you the link to both websites so you can do the comparison yourself, because the prices are the same. And again, Duda won't pay me for a referral. It's a good tool. But again, for those with lifetime, you're gonna have to pay that extra upgrade, and I couldn't get around that. I tried.
It doesn't seem they have all the same tools though. It seems that the Umbrella has more.
Yeah, that's why when I found out about Umbrella, and I told the people who were asking me about ADA, give me a couple of days to kind of do a comparison and ask some questions to make sure I can make a recommendation. And I feel pretty comfortable that the Umbrella tool is better. Support's been great. I actually scheduled a call with one of the engineers after the demo, because I had some specific techie questions, as I will have. And again, it's not going to be 100% compliant. There's some things that the web person needs to do, but they're not hard. It's not like me trying to figure out how to change text if somebody hits a button. It's me just making sure that the videos have captions, that the pictures have alt tags, and those kinds of things. So it's something that I can easily do to help that business, but not going to have to charge them $500 a month to manage that. The widget takes care of 95% of it.
Well, we appreciate you doing all the footwork for us.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. I'm the analytical. I said, that looks good, but I have some questions for you. Because I will, they say, well, that's a good question. I said, yeah, because I've been in this business for a long time, and I know what the clients are going to ask me, and I want a reasonable answer. So let's just kind of open it up let's just kind of like open forum. If you have a question about the internet, concern, something you're struggling with, let me know. And let's just kind of use the next 20 minutes to check a few more boxes off your I don't know list. I didn't give you much time to prep, huh?
We're not web people. It's cricket time.
Yeah, I know, huh? Pat had a question or a comment.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I just have a really quick statement. It's so strange that this ADA thing is coming up right now. And Susan, I just want to share a real quick story. Susan will remember, I taught dance starting back in 1977. I taught disco, and I taught at I taught for 22 years after that. But one night when I was teaching, I had a group of deaf people show up at my class. And I thought, oh God, what am I going to do? Because you don't think of that in terms of a dance class.
Yeah.
But I had them go over and put their hands on my speakers and feel the beat. Then they'd go over and just watch me. And that's how I was able to teach this group of deaf students. And they liked me so much, then they started hiring me to DJ their dances and things. But the point being, if you just look in a crowd of like 100 people, you couldn't tell who is deaf, and so you never know who's going to show up at your class. It ended up, I took sign language, and I was able to help a lot more deaf in the deaf community. And when I left teaching dance, I went into real estate, and I advertised in all the deaf community magazines. And a lot of my clients were deaf clients that I sold real estate to. So ADA it's so important that we just forget about that, and it's so crucial. So thank you.
That goes to the point too. We talked about, one, it's good PR, and two, it services an underserved market. For those of us who have been through the branding mastermind, we talked about finding a niche. It's not that I service everybody, but I service these people. So like Pat said, I don't DJ dances for anybody. I specialize, and it's not the only thing you do, but I specialize in the deaf or visually impaired or this. So if your competition isn't addressing that niche, that's a pretty big pond. You know, we talked about being a big fish in a small pond. That's what you could potentially be just by adding this to your website to show that you are addressing that underserved market. Thanks for that story. I remember you telling me that years and years ago. Okay, so anything else about this or any other webby topic you have? Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Marilyn.
I just want to say thank you because since last Widget Wednesday, I've gone out and I've picked a couple of fonts I like, and then I've just submitted this morning. I was working on it yesterday, but I submitted a request to Logo Nerds for logo.
Good. Yeah, good tools.
I'm using your tools.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see my new logo? I think some of you may not have seen it.
Well, I saw. Yeah. You haven't switched it on your website yet.
I think I did. I think I
saw
used
the
to have
one
both
that
of
you
them.
showed us.
Yeah, this is the new one. I think that's, yeah. So I'm getting the finals, I think, today, and it took a while. Pat would appreciate this. I was trying to turn the Y into a path because I wanted the path thing in my logo. So I was trying to get them to turn the Y into a path, but all I could see was the Y. It was just too distracting. I didn't see the words. So I emailed them. So I'm going to turn the path into dotted lines. I'm taking a new direction or something. I said something to that effect. LOL. So yeah, I really finding a font that you like and finding a business that you can work with to kind of make it your own is part of that whole branding fun stuff.
What was your font website again?
I think it was Creative Fabrica. I can't, it's a long name. I'll send you the link, Jamie. Or actually, you know, all of those resources, let me see if it's on the website. So for those of you, expand my brand, and I'm probably going to be switching this out. I'm probably going to be replacing expand my brand with Blaze your brand. But on this website, Blaze your brand, where is it? Widget Wednesday. So if you click on the Widget Wednesday, all the recordings from Widget Wednesday are here. Should be all the, and then Julie sent her tips, design tips, and there's that to download.
Oh, great.
The font, here's the font resource, Creative Fabrica. So you click there. And now again, for full disclosure, they send, apparently they have an affiliate program, but if you're going to spend $2 on a font, I'm not going to get a lot. But just so you know, they had an affiliate program. Yeah, so all of the Widget Wednesdays are there. For those of you who are part of the masterminds, the other resources are up here. But this is free. The Widget Wednesdays are free, so all the links are here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so this is today. And so next, in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about digital organization, and that was something Pat wanted to talk about. And I apologize for bumping it, but I invited those people who are asking about ADA compliance to this webinar, but I only sent it to them late yesterday. So I'm going to be able to send this recording to them and kind of let them see the demo. Any other general questions you want to ask? Stories you want to tell? Got another 15 minutes.
Well, Susan,
Yes.
I went to go pay my bills yesterday and I opened up the bill from my pool guy, and lo and behold, he has a website now, and guess who did it? Good job.
Oh, really? The pool managers?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was like, "Ooh, Dave, stepping up." And then I saw that it was yours.
Yeah, I like Dave. It's been a while since
He's a great guy.
Part of my networking group, but yeah, glad they're doing well.
Yeah, they're great kids. Great guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just tell you a little bit of what we're going to talk about next time. How many people use Outlook, Microsoft Outlook? Few. I use it now. I was using Google Suite, which is, so my journey with Google is I signed up for Google, just like many of you have, and they give you a Gmail account, which you can still use. But several years ago, they had this tool called Google Suite where I can associate my domain name with it. And that's valuable because instead of an email coming from such and such at gmail.com, which to me looks very temporary and non-professional, it's coming from Susan at excelnetworks.com. So you want to send emails out with your email or with your domain name as opposed to Gmail or Yahoo or
Absolutely.
yeah, because it's branding, right?
Credible.
Yeah, it's very, and it's simple. I mean, it's not expensive to do that. I think our GoDaddy can set you up for $3 a month or something. So it's a very small price to pay for branding. But then you have options. Do you want your domain name to be associated with Outlook or Google or whatever? So I had been with Google for several years, and there were some email challenges. And again, I don't know, does anybody remember the day of DOS? Julie, do you remember the day of DOS?
Yeah.
So there used to be operating systems that don't even exist anymore. You had to decide, do you want to do DOS or CPM or whatever it was? And things evolve over time in the technology world. And there were some, and again, I'm getting beyond my complete knowledge of the fact, but there's IMAP emails and there's all kinds of different kinds of emails. And apparently Google is using a little bit of more of an obsolete email system. So I was convinced to change over to Outlook, which was kind of a little bit more advanced, and I'm not having as many email issues. I had to learn a new email system because I really was getting used to Google. And I talked to Google, or I chatted with Google last night, because now I want to transfer. I still like Google Calendar better than Outlook. I still like Google Tasks better than Outlook. So I'm trying to find this balance between one tool and the other. So I think next week I'm going to share with you what I ended up doing, because I have 2 weeks. So my next bill with Google Suites is September 1. So I've got 2 weeks to kind of figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to move it over and how I'm going to make them work. So if you've ever had a challenge, and this is the thing, having been in technology for 50 years, you will never find one tool that does everything the way you like it. You're going to find you like this a little bit better than that and this. And, sometimes you have to compromise. Sometimes it's just easier to say, I'll just live with this. But sometimes there's ways to, get the best of both worlds. So next week, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about storage, because Google Drive and actually Outlook has, what do they call that? It's not Microsoft Drive. They've got a version of that. But I'm going to kind of do a little bit of comparison between what your options are and what might be the best fit for you, particularly if you're using a Gmail account. And I can't tell you, Julie, it's like 50% of the people, when you do business card, it seems they want that they put a Gmail.
And they have a website, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You pay for it, it gives you credibility. If somebody doesn't, and I'll do this, and I'm sure we all do this. Somebody sends you an email, and you look at the tail end of it, you copy paste it, you get rid of their name to find out where are they? Are they real? Is this real?
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
Yeah,
Gmail, I can't do that.
Well, and yeah, exactly. So it's just a very simple, cost-effective way to brand yourself. And so we're going to cover that a little bit about my journey. Because again, I just switched back in March, and I really hated it for a while because it was things that Google did for me. Outlook did it different. So for some of you who have emailed me and I haven't responded, it's because the threading in Outlook is quite different than Google. You know how you get threads of email responses and replies and stuff? It's just different. So it's been challenging for me to figure it out. So we'll just kind of cover some options about what you should do to get better branding with some tools like Outlook and or Google. And what might be the pros and cons between one or the other, the little spreadsheet. Yeah.
I do have a question. Is that I was on a Zoom call yesterday with BART, which is, San Francisco, that's their transportation system. And it seems to me that they only use Outlook. Now, I don't have that. I've got Chrome, I've got Firefox, and I've got Safari, but I don't have Outlook.
Well,
And every
Outlook,
time I've tried to register, they said, well, do you have, Outlook? I'm like, well, no. Why would I don't need 4. And they said, you can't get through without it. They still, everything that they do is through Outlook. They can't function without that. And I think that's weird because they're
that
huge.
is weird. Well, so Chrome and Explorer and Firefox are all browsers. Outlook is an email system and it kind of a calendar, so it's kind of replacing Google Suite. So again, in 2 weeks, we'll kind of do that comparison.
All right.
So what I did is, because I was having email issues, and I went through GoDaddy. GoDaddy has a reseller license through Outlook or Microsoft, because Microsoft owns Outlook, Excel, Word, blah, blah, blah. They own the suite of products. So by licensing with GoDaddy, I got access to all that. Now, back in the day, when you wanted to buy, you had to go to the thing, you bought these big discs. I don't know if did any of you do that? You'd have to buy these big discs, load Word onto your computer.
CDs, they weren't that big.
Well, yeah, but still, there were like some of these programs had 5 or 6 discs you had to install. And then, a year later, if you wanted to upgrade it to, because things were changing, you had to go buy the upgrade. It wasn't going to be as expensive as the original license, but then you do that. Now, because, you can download it from the internet and all that, they generally charge you an annual fee, but it's a lot less expensive and a lot easier to access. So what I did in March, I think it was, I just bought this Microsoft Suite through GoDaddy. I hired GoDaddy to move all my stuff from Google to Outlook, so I didn't have to lose any of my past emails and calendars and stuff. So I've been living with both right now because I wanted to make sure I liked it. And I think what I've decided is I'm going to disable some of the functionality of Google, but I still want to use the calendar. So what I chatted with them is, so is it free? Can I do this? I'm still working that out. So I will kind of share with you kind of my findings from this Outlook Google thing, but I think those right now are the best options. So we'll cover that. And part of that will cover the storage thing that I mentioned that we were supposed to cover today, but I backburnered it for 2 weeks. So
Susan?
Yes.
Is all the PWN stuff that's on the Google Drive, are you going to be moving that over as well?
No.
Or,
no.
oh, okay.
Because we don't use Outlook. Google's
Okay.
a good tool and it has a lot of functionality. It's free for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I upgraded it was because I wanted my domain name associated with it. And then there's a fee. I think it's like $6 a month. So it wasn't a big expense, but if you don't have to pay the $6, that adds up over the years. So that's what I'm kind of trying to transition out of before the end of the month. So no, it doesn't. But this is a good point, Kay. See, as a board with PWN, I know that we have board insurance. Does the board want to look at this ADA issue? Just saying, all these organizations, I'm going to be talking to all of my associations because generally they have more traffic than our websites. I don't know how much traffic you get to your website a month, but the more traffic you have, the more chances somebody's going to say, hey, I can't read this, so it's discriminating against me, and they may file suit. So just something to think about, the organizations that you are, nonprofits that you're associated with, and think if it might benefit them. And again, it's at the starting point, it's $8 to $25 a month to prevent a possible lawsuit. And just for the time involved in having to deal with it, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. In fact, I've talked to Esther Lee, who is with Legal Shield, and we may partner in doing some dual things, because one, it's to put this on your website to make sure you don't get sued. But if you do, make sure you have a company like Legal Shield there so you can say, hey, help me. I just got sued, so anyway. Any other thoughts? We're getting close to the 9:30 hour, and I know you guys have busy days planned, so we don't want to keep it too long.
Well, just one more thought. I like the umbrella system much better than Duda, because I couldn't even find, when you showed the Duda site and it's down at the bottom.
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't even, it took me a while to find it, whereas that little tag that says, you know, click on here and you'll.
Yeah, and it explains it instead of just this
Yes,
icon.
yes, yes.
It explains. Yeah, that's when I did that apples to apples comparison, I was much more impressed by the umbrella tool and the fact that it was one, cost effective. Now, when you upgrade to get all the tools on the right hand side, which Duda didn't even offer, it does increase the price. However, you know, again, depending on your organization, it may be worth that upgrade, but at least you have options. At least get something for $8, or, you know, if you want a little bit more, there's options available. And it increases depending on the size of the website. I'm not sure, but it's under $100. All of them, even though the big websites are under $100. But we can deal with companies like doTERRA or Pampered Chef. So again, if you feel like you want to just say, hey, I'm a consultant with this company, take a look at this. And if they decide to sign up with the company, you're going to get a finder's fee, minimum of $25. So that you're helping me, you're helping them, is just a good thing.
Yeah, I have several companies to deal with.
Yeah.
doTERRA, Itovi.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All the
again,
vendors for doTERRA, they're really big.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you noticed, and a lot of your websites may have national, you know, international needs. On the umbrella tool, let me see if I can find that again, there is a tab for other languages.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think I turned it off here. But on the top of the tab, it goes into all these languages. So it turns the tool into the other languages, but your website also has that the functionality. Those with Duda, you have that functionality. There's an automatic language converter in the system that we can turn on for you if you go international. Okay.
Well, doTERRA is definitely international. So
yeah. So again, what I'll do is I'll create that little referral form and I'll send you all the link to that landing page. Just take a look, play with the umbrella site, you know, see what you feel, and let me know if you're interested in getting this on your website. And again, if you decide, you know, I'm not doing much, I don't really need it on my website, send a referral anyway. I'll still pay you the $25. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if you decide to purchase or not, but I think it's important to know about, because we've all been at risk for years. And it's just that one surprise. It's like getting that letter. Has anybody else gotten a letter from the IRS? Those are not good letters to get. I don't care how good you've been doing on your taxes. You just don't want to deal with
No, you don't. I've gotten several letters.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's not fun. And yeah, it's not good for your health. It's bad for stress. So I guess it's good for doTERRA, because you need some lavender in your office when you're dealing with the IRS. All right, guys, it was good to see you this morning. I'll get this finished up and send you a link by this afternoon. If you've got any questions, reach out. Jamie, if you want to stick on, I want to make sure you got that email I sent you this morning.
Oh, okay.
I sent you an email. So I'm going to stop the share and then stop the recording. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions, and you have a great afternoon. It's going to be hot.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah. See you soon.